Hey everybody, it's Michael from Wahoo Comics here with another haul and speculation video, and I'm super excited because I just got some big Spider-Man keys. And if you've been watching my videos, you know that I'm trying to put together a full run of the Amazing Spider-Man, and I'm super happy to check some big books off of my list. But before I get to those books, I want to share a little bit about the crazy story of what I went through to be able to get them. So there is a seller that I bought some books from back in November from Germany. And I got a couple of big keys from him. The biggest Iron Man number 55, the first appearance of Thanos. And when I bought those books, I asked him, hey, are there any other books that you're looking to sell? And so he responded, he said, well, I might be selling my whole collection, but I'm not sure. And, there's a lot of books that mean a lot to me that I don't know if I want to get rid of. And so I said, okay, well, that's fine. Well, why don't we just do this deal for the Iron Man and a couple other books that you have? And then you can think about it, and I can make sure that you get these books to me safely from Germany. And then once they get here, then we can start talking about maybe some other books. And so that's what happened. And the books got here, and then I emailed them back and said, hey, the books are here, look great. Are you looking to sell any of your other books? Let me know. And so he said, well, after thinking about it, I actually am ready to move on from my collection. And so I got a list of his whole collection, and man, he has some really nice books. And so many that there's no way that I could get all that I wanted from him at one time. And so I said, hey man, you've got a lot of books, and I'd be interested in putting several orders in from you in the coming months. But I said there's 3 that are at top priority for me. And so I told him, can you send me pictures of these 3 books and tell me what your price is on them? And they were all Spider-Man books. And so he sent me the pictures and prices, and I thought, wow, this is fantastic. These books look great, and especially for the price that he's asking. And so I said, hey, let's do it. I'm ready to buy them. And I didn't hear from him for a few days, and so I gave it some time, and then responded or emailed him again and said, hey, just want to check in. How do you want to move forward? And so he responded and said, sadly, his aunt had just gone through some health stuff, and so he had to help move her into a nursing home, and was really occupied with taking care of her. And so of course I replied and said, oh man, sorry to hear that, totally understand, take your time, maybe I'll check back in a couple of weeks, and you're doing the right thing. Obviously your family is way more important than your comics, and certainly more important than selling your comics to some dude from America that you've never met. And so, some time goes by, I check back in and I say, hey, just seeing, how things going for you. Ask him, sincerely, how's your aunt doing? And he said, well, she's doing fine, but now my wife just had an accident yesterday where she fell and broke her ankle, and now I'm having to take care of her. And so I'm like, wow, man, this guy is having a rough year of it, man. So my heart went out to him. While also starting to wonder, is he just backing out and just doesn't want to say it, or is this really happening? And then feeling bad that I'm questioning, this guy. But I really did feel he was being sincere. We'd had some good emails, so I didn't really think he was trying to pull one over on me or anything, but just really man, this dude's having some terrible luck, and trying to figure out how it's really interesting ethically how to be a good buyer, because these are books you'll see that I finally got that I really wanted, but I don't want to be on his case, especially this time. So I said, all right, well, take your time. I'll be back in touch in a few weeks. So got back in touch a few weeks after that, and then his whole family had gotten COVID, and so then again, it got delayed. So again, all right, I get it, man. Your family is more important. Look forward to making a deal on these books when we can. But by that time, a couple of these books had spiked in price, and so even though I wasn't going to give him any kind of hard time about it if he backed out. I was concerned that he would start having second thoughts and say, hey, well, if you still want these books, then I'm willing to sell them, but not at what I had agreed to. And then I followed him back up in a few weeks, and then at that point, the stuff in the Ukraine had started going on, and that was kind of he had some friends that were fleeing there, and so he was his mind had been occupied by that. And man, it just wild, really. And my heart went out to this guy. I mean, like, I can't imagine going through all those things in such a short period of time. And so of course he was really apologetic about, like, man, I'm sorry that obviously this deal was supposed to be done months ago. And so I tried to assure him, hey, no problem at all. I totally understand. Obviously, I'm looking forward to doing the deal when it happens, but I definitely think you're making the right call by putting your family first and your friends first. I mean, again, that certainly should be much more important than selling some books to some dude in America. But finally, we were able to make the deal, and he honored what he'd agreed to sell them to me for. And when I show them to you, I'm not going to tell the exact price, but I'll make a comment on one of the books. But I'll show the book that I am, first of all, now most excited to get. It wasn't originally the one I'm most excited to get, and I'll explain that. But I got Amazing Spider-Man number 194, which of course is the first appearance of the Black Cat. And this is one of those books that since November has passed, this book's gotten crazy hot. And I still think it has room to grow because, of course, we haven't seen this character in a movie, whether it's a Sony movie or an MCU movie. And I think it's inevitable that she shows up at some point. And as much as this book has grown in value, I think it'll grow even more when we get to that point. And it's a book that I've really had a hard time finding any decent value and was concerned that he might back out. But thankfully he didn't. He honored the price. And so I got this book. And these other two books that I got from him are kind of funny because when we worked out the deal in November, they were huge on my list. But actually, since then, if you've been watching my videos, I didn't know whether it was going to come through, and so I found other deals on these books. So these are actually my second copies of these books. We have Amazing Spider-Man number 129, and this is definitely in a lower grade than the book that I more recently made the deal on, but that I got earlier. And so what I'm planning to do with this one is certainly send it off to CGC and then sell it. Of course, if you don't know, this book is the first appearance of the Punisher. An incredible book to have for any Spider-Man fan, any Punisher fan. And this would have been the book that I was most excited about if I didn't already have a copy. But I'll sell this one, and for what I expect I should be able to get for it, it should pay for the other two books, and then leave some change left over. And so that's what I try to do. Obviously, the strategies you've heard. Buy multiple copies of books, keep a copy for myself. But if I can find these others at good deals, then to sell them to get the hobby to pay for itself. And then the other book I got from, also pretty funny. If you saw my video a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned there is a book that I seem to be cursed about, that I'd made deals that had fallen through. And this was one of the deals that at that point had fallen through. So I'd made a deal on it, but I now have my second copy of Amazing Spider-Man 238, which of course contains the first appearance of the Hobgoblin. And this is actually a nicer copy than the one that I'd gotten earlier, so it's kind of the opposite of 129. But beautiful book, beautiful cover, awesome character, and I'm happy to have this higher graded book. So kind of a wild journey to get to this. It took about 6 months from making the deal until these books actually got to my house. But I'm so thankful for that seller for honoring his word, not increasing the prices, because I do think I really got a great deal on all of them. And I'll show one other batch of books that I got recently, and we'll stay on the theme of buying stuff from people in Europe. You really should consider, looking for people selling from other countries, because I think there must be less opportunities for them to sell their books, and so you can often get, I think, pretty good deals. And so I found someone selling the first 6 issues of Darth Vader. And so I've been looking especially for issue 1, which contains the first appearance of Black Krrsantan. It's a character I think is awesome. I really love him. Of course, he was in the Boba Fett show, and so this book really spiked then. It's cooled off some before. Oh, but this is another kind of patience paid off story. This is a seller from the Netherlands, and so I'd reached out to him about these books, probably around October, and he'd list them online, and he didn't send pictures to me at the time. Sure, obviously people have lots of things going on, and so I waited quite a while before getting back in touch with him, because I wasn't sure for sure that I wanted these books. Black Krrsantan hadn't shown up yet in the Boba Fett show, and then when he showed up, I was like, oh well, if this guy's asking, this is my chance to get these books. And so I reached out to him and said, hey, I'm still interested in these books. Are you still looking to sell? He said, yeah, I am. And so he sent me the pictures, and we got it to work out. And so issue 1, issue 2, and this is the one, the reason I originally reached out to him, because I saw he had issue 3 for sale. And of course, this contains the first appearance of Dr. Aphra, and I think this is a great book to be buying right now, in my opinion, because if Black Krrsantan showed up in a Disney Plus show, I think certainly Dr. Aphra is at some point. When, I don't know, but it's inevitable in my opinion. But I actually don't like that character nearly as much as I do the droids who make their first appearance in here. 000 and BT1. I think they're real fun characters. So I personally like this book for them. But obviously she's a really popular character, and I think a good book to be investing in. And for a more budget friendly, you've got issue number 4, which contains her second appearance. So if you're priced out of that one, you might want to consider picking this one up. And then he was selling these all as a set. Issue 5, and I love Darth Vader, so this is a cool Vader cover. And issue 6. So we're really excited to get all these books. Check off again, what I thought was going to be 3 big Spider-Man keys that I didn't have. There's only 1, but I'm still happy to have those other 2. And tell me, what do you think? What's something you've picked up recently? What are things you're excited about? Maybe my question of the week will be, what's the farthest away you've ever bought a comic book from? It's really funny. Like, I buy comics maybe from other countries more than I do from the U.S. I've got quite a few people that I've bought from Canada, especially, is another place where there's a lot of people selling their books that I found online. That's where I got the Daredevil one. It's kind of funny. If you'd asked me a year ago, I'm buying books from other countries, I wouldn't have thought it, but here we are. All right, well, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I'd appreciate it if you do so. Help us grow, like, comment, all those things. All right, hope you enjoyed the story and seeing these books. I enjoyed it and look forward to the next one.